All right, in the future, you might be watching your morning news in your pajamas, which you probably are today as well, but more on a permanent basis.
Yeah, and here's why. The likelihood of robots taking human jobs just continues to increase. But millennials, believe it or not, aren't too worried about this. So should we be worried? It's a big question. We head over to Fox 5's Mike Doria, who's in the newsroom now with a web tool to check the likelihood of automation when it comes to our jobs. What did you decide with our jobs? Yay, nay? Are we safe?
Well, we're going to get to that. I'm going to be suspenseful, so we'll get to that at the end. Keep in mind, this thing is it's only 2 years old, so some things have changed, but not that much. And it's also made for England, but the jobs in England are not that much different than ours. So I want to I want to check a couple of them. A security guard being one of them, because that's going to fall into this story a little bit later. It says quite likely 89%. We did find the job that's pretty much going to go, and it already has. And if you scroll here to telephone salesperson, I mean, literally, it says 99% your job is going to be taken. But there is one job on here that I thought was interesting, and it says shelf filler. So we do know that shelves in grocery stores are going to look a little different in the future, because in apartment buildings, they're going to have mini grocery stores in the bottom where they could just send down for things. So maybe that's why they're saying that it's fairly likely the shelf filler is probably not going to have a job in the future. Then again, we don't know. People could screw it all up and they realize it's not working and we go back to having a human behind that job. But here's one other job where there's no more human.
I'm a security robot. Nice to see you here.
So remember when mall cops would breeze by you on the Segway? Well, RoboCop here, he looks about as intimidating as R2-D2. So what is it going to do when that shoplifter hits? Scold it? That's about all it can do. Anyway, if you're working in retail, you should be afraid, be very afraid, because experts and researchers say 4 out of 5 retail jobs that don't have direct interaction with humans will vanish. That's upwards of 6 million jobs. And in sales, about 2/3 of jobs will be rewired for robots. I don't know about that, though. We'll talk about that at the end. So why aren't millennials worried? They're the ones creating all these robots for the jobs, right? Well, that answer was found if you sift through the World Economic Forum's Global Shapers 2017 survey. So basically what that means is they wanted to get people's opinions on what they're worried about. Well, millennials, they're worried about climate change. 48% of them said it's the biggest problem facing the world. 55% of those surveyed said that they feel their voices are not considered or taken seriously by government on major decisions. And finally, when it did come to that robot question, 80% said they thought the technology was creating jobs. Well, it is for robots, not people. Millennials did agree that robots will affect some jobs, but whatevs. Obviously, the advent of robots did not come around yesterday, right? So they've been going on ever since probably a few years ago, even longer that, but in certain industries. So if you look at the telemarketing industry and the telephone sales hit that industry pretty hard. But there are people looking out for us. So right now you're probably thinking, well, there's no hope. We're all going to be run by robots. The city supervisor in San Francisco, she's planning to basically propose a robot tax on any company that decides it wants to get rid of part of its workforce and go automated. So basically going to be able to still collect money from them, because you can't have everybody out of a job. There'll be a lot of people in unemployment. By the way, so we were talking about salespeople. If you're a company and you've gone to automated phones, call me seriously at the newsroom. I want to know if it's worked out for you, because the art of a sale is based on emotion, right?
I agree.
So I might listen to a human salesperson, maybe, but I'm definitely not listening to an automated one.
So
I wonder how that's
you.
working out.
Telephone sales is the hardest gig
is.
ever. I don't even think people that do well at it even like it, because it's just got to be so tough. People like Mike Doria hanging up on you, or telling them his own problems, and you're like, look, I'm trying to sell you a vacuum.
Are you talking about
Jason,
your cats?
by the way, Jason, you qualify for a 3-night stay at one of our fine hotels. We're just going to need a credit card on file. And
exactly. Oh, seriously.
All right.
Thanks,
robots
Mike.
taking over the world. Scary thought, but true.
Yeah, as long as they look like Kelly LeBrock. I know I said that last hour, but she's just hot.
For the younger generation.
From Weird Science.
There you go.
Do people rent anymore?
It's a good movie, though.
Yeah.